When people leave their home country and enter into another country, lying and faking documents or seeking fraudulent asylum and thinking they can get away with it, they need to think again. Because these days, you will be caught and the consequences will be severe. That's exactly what happened in the story I came across recently of a Nigerian pastor who was just ordered deported from Canada after it was discovered that he faked his asylum claim using forged documents and bribes involving the police in Nigeria. It is a very sad story, but I think we need to talk about it so that it will serve as a warning to other people out there who may be deceived into thinking that they can get away with fraudulent and fake immigration or asylum claims. Hello everyone, my name is Kola. Welcome back to this side of life. And if you're new here, welcome to the Wise Tribe and thank you all for joining me today. I was so sad to read this story about the Nigerian pastor who came into Canada with fake asylum claims. I will put a link to the story down in the description box below if you want to read it. But essentially what happened is that this pastor came to Canada claiming that he was running for his life. He claimed that he was being persecuted because he was supporting individuals who are LGBTQ in his congregation. And that because of that, the Muslim extremists came, attacked his church and burnt it down in 2022, and that he had to run for his life and was forced into hiding. He said that the police were after him and there was some warrant out for his arrest and he escaped from Nigeria to Canada. His story sounded believable at first, but when the Canadian immigration officials looked further into his claims, they found that there were so many things that were inconsistent, there were so many things that looked fraudulent. And so they rejected his claim and then he appealed. And he was rejected again. Why? Because the documents that he provided to support his claim were found to be fraudulent. And they discovered that he had colluded with some people in the Nigerian police to fake the documents that declared him wanted by the police. And the more I looked at this story, I was like, okay, so why would the police declare you wanted if you were being persecuted, you were attacked by Muslim extremists, and your church was burnt down? Shouldn't the police be looking for the people who attacked you? Why did they now declare you wanted? I mean, I guess maybe he was claiming that they declared him wanted because he supported LGBTQ? I don't know, but if you read the story and you think you understand this claim, can you please let us know in the comment section below. Anyway, the documents that he submitted included a newspaper excerpt that reported the story. But according to the Canadian immigration, this article that he submitted was like something that was typed on a computer and it was full of errors. There were spelling mistakes, grammatical errors. It didn't look like a professional news article. And also he submitted an invitation by the Nigerian police to question him about the incident that happened in his church, which didn't look genuine. Canadian immigration sees documents from Nigerian police all the time, and this document from the police didn't look legal. It looked like it was a fraudulent document. He also submitted medical records for his wife after the attack, I guess showing that she was injured, and the medical report had only a postal address and Gmail contact. There was no phone number and there was no way they could verify that this medical report was correct. He also submitted a wanted poster issued by Oodua People's Congress. They couldn't even spell Oodua correctly. It was spelled wrongly. There were all kinds of mistakes. They couldn't spell Yoruba correctly on the wanted poster. Yoruba was spelled as Y-O-U-R-U-B-A. It was just all full of errors and inconsistencies. Even the wanted poster had the wrong name and the wrong contact details. It had his picture, the pastor's picture, but the name was wrong. How can you expect that you will present such documents and there won't be any questions about it? And finally, they said that he contradicted himself, saying that he could not speak English, he did not understand English, But then when he came before the court to give his testimony, he was speaking fluent English. So how can you say one thing and do something else? In summary, the whole claim was fraudulent, and it was so obvious that these were fake documents and this was a fake claim. The pastor lied about so many things that the judge said that the only thing that he could establish as true in his whole claim is that he is truly a Nigerian because of his passport and his testimony. That was the only thing that the judge could say, okay, that is the one thing that you are telling the truth about. Everything else was lies and fake. And at the end of the day, his asylum claim was rejected and he was deported from Canada. So there are just a few points I wanted to make from this story. The first one is that it is sad that this person is calling themselves a pastor. I don't know whether that is true or not, but what I just want to point out is that just like the Bible says that not everybody that says Lord, Lord will enter into the kingdom of heaven. Not everybody that says they are pastors are actually pastors. But the Bible says that by their fruits you shall know them. So no matter what somebody calls themselves, you have to look at what they are doing. You have to look at their fruits. You have to look at their behavior, their character, to be able to judge whether they are actually and truly what they say they are. So to me, this person may call themselves a pastor, but maybe that's part of their lies to be able to support their asylum claim. Who knows? And then number two, like I said in my previous video, do not come illegally to another country. This shortcut of illegal entry to all these countries is not worth it. If you ask me, it's not worth it. Once you tell a lie to immigration, there's no going back, because you have to tell another lie to cover that lie, and you are just caught in this web of lies. And in this digital age that we are in, your fingerprints, your biometrics are there in the computer, and everything is stored and can be accessed from anywhere. So even if you go to another country, even if you are deported from one country and then you go to another country, those records are going to follow you and there will be no hiding place for you. And the truth is, those people who do this kind of things, like come into a country illegally by different means, using somebody else's documents, somebody else's passport, fake asylum claims, they don't end up living peaceful lives because they're always watching their backs, constantly afraid, always hiding, and never truly free. It's not the way to live, honestly. Like this case for this pastor, one lie may take you abroad, but the same lie can get you right back to where you're coming from. And then the third thing I want to point out from this story is that imagine all the efforts that the pastor went through to get a fake newspaper article, a fake wanted poster that the police is looking for him, to fake medical records. Imagine the effort and the money, the resources that would have gone into coming up with all these fake documents. If that same effort was put into pursuing the proper channels to travel, will it not produce better results? I think so. I think there's so much effort put into fraudulent documents and fraudulent claims and fraudulent applications that if you could only just spend that same effort on going through the right channels, I think you will get better results. The best thing if you want to move from one country to another is to do your research. I say that all the time. Do your research. There's so much information on the internet. Find out from people who have done it. You will find videos on YouTube of people who have done it and they say how they have done it. I get many people in my comment section, in my DM saying, oh, we want to come to Canada, help us. And I'm like, I'm not an immigration consultant, but I know that there are many legal pathways that you can take to come to Canada. You can come as a permanent resident through the express entry route. You can come as a student. You can come through provincial immigration. And even as refugees and asylum seekers, there are humanitarian pathways by which you can come for people who have genuine cases that are eligible for refugee or asylum claims, right? And also, not everybody has to leave their country and go to another country. That is 100% correct. Not everybody must leave Nigeria, for example, and go to another country. If you want to make that move, you need to plan properly. Do your research, save money, apply honestly, and pray. So many people have taken that journey, and you will not be the first and you will not be the last. Do it the proper way, and if that's your path in life, it will work out. Then the consequences are severe. The consequences after spending all that money on faking the documents, settling people, who knows how many people he gave bribes to secure those documents, and even coming to Canada with his wife, and who knows, maybe he came with his children as well, and then having to go back, and all that money and all that time. I think he came to Canada in 2023 and this is 2025, so 2 years of his life is gone and nothing to show for it. And there are some people who believe that the end justifies the means, like as long as you get what you want, you get to that country, it doesn't matter how you do it. We need to understand that the blessings of God make rich and does not add any sorrow. Imagine the disgrace that this pastor has put himself and his family and everyone that's connected to him through this whole ordeal. I'm sure he didn't know that he was going to be on newspapers and on the internet because of this asylum claim in Canada. This is just buttressing my point that going into another country illegally is not worth it, and that we shouldn't go that route, especially as children of God. Not to talk of the fact that this keeps on tarnishing the image of Nigeria in this case and other countries where these people come from. And no wonder people would say things about our country, Nigeria, and we will get up in arms and say, oh, they are racist or they are anti-African, anti-black and all that. But these are the kind of things that inform that kind of impression of people who come from certain countries. So yeah, this doesn't help us at all, and it gives the country a bad name, which is very, very, very sad. Why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this just to remind us, especially as Africans and as Christians, that God's blessings does not require us to be deceptive or to be fraudulent or to lie. You don't have to cheat and lie and deceive to be successful or to get what you want. You can get what you want by being patient, by good planning, and by prayer, and not shortcuts. That's just my 2 cents for today. What do you think about this pastor's story and stories like that we see from time to time? Do you know anyone who has tried something like this? Or maybe you've faced your own struggles trying to move abroad. What is your advice for people like this pastor? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button, give it a thumbs up, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. Also, stay tuned to this channel for much more interesting content coming your way. Until I come your way again, until the next video, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye!